First and foremost, myself. I'm ex-Royal Navy. I spent 6 years in the Royal Navy, following which I became an oil field engineer. That took me out to Houston, Texas in 1985. In 1986, the oil business took a little bit of a downturn with oil going down to $7 a barrel. Consequently, my role in the US changed. At that time, I ended up moving into a more sales environment, working with a number of major sponsors for the Houston Rockets basketball team and others. Eventually came back to the UK and ended up in the print industry, and became a sales director for one of Europe's largest printers, and decided that the company was quite old-fashioned in the way it did things. And we developed a company that managed the control of movement of digital assets, which we later listed on NASDAQ and was sold. After which, I then spent about 2 years working for a group of small cap funds in New York, scouring the planet for emerging technology companies, primarily software, and primarily they came out of the New Zealand market. Those companies did around 6 or 7 deals and spent about $25 million, and so far they've returned substantially more than that. Following that, I was invited by the same small cap investors who had invested in an automotive software company, enterprise resource planning software, to go in and take that company to the next level. Unfortunately, what they should have said was, would I go in and turn it around? They'd invested in excess of $40 million. The $40 million had gone. There were 26 companies in group, and none of the deals consummated correctly. So I undertook a restructure, a refinancing. We delisted it. We spent 5 years rebuilding the business, ended up with 2 units, one in the UK, one in the US. At the time I went in, the stock reached a bottom price of 2 cents. I left 5 years later when the stock was at $1.60. And subsequent to that, with the foundations that we put in place, the stock hit $6.35 not too long ago. So it was quite a successful technology turnaround, a restructure, refinancing. It was relisted back onto it's on the small cap, NASDAQ small cap market now. At the time I came back from New York, I dealt over the years with a number of individuals. One of those individuals being Chris Wood, or Professor Chris Wood. Chris had agreed to join Deepbridge as a partner. Chris was formerly a surgeon at Hammersmith, and subsequent to that, he started his first biotech business called MediRace. MediRace was then combined with Evans Healthcare. When the two companies were put together, it changed its name to Mediva. So many people will know Mediva. It listed in London and New York, subsequently sold for many billions of pounds. Chris was also involved in a number of startup, very early stage biotechnology projects, one of them being BioEnvision. BioEnvision was a child leukemia compound. The company was started as a virtual company, and from that standing start, 7 years later, it had a peak market cap on Amex in New York of $860 million, subsequently sold to Genzyme for $345 million. So they were the two key partners that kicked things off. Further to that, I'd had a relationship with a chap called Matthias Muller, and Matthias came on board. Matthias was fast-tracked through the Hewlett-Packard executive management system, and subsequently was the head of manufacturing technology for Hewlett-Packard, based in Corvallis in the States. Matthias left, and he spends time working with us and other individuals. Another key member of the team is Bob Bauer. Bob was one of the founding members of the PARC team. PARC is the Palo Alto Research Center in California, and it's the place where Xerox developed many of the things that you use today. Lots of technology came out of PARC. PARC was primarily in place to develop printer technology. Many peripheral products came out of them. Many of those you use today, like the mouse, PCs, laptops, Adobe Acrobat, PDFs, all came out of PARC. So Bob's a great knowledge expert on spin-out technologies. Bob is now Executive Director for Commercialization at Willow Garage, which is a robotics institute in California. He also sits on the Homeland Security Commission. Bob is our conduit to deal flow from North America and also to knowledge flow. So Bob's a key member of the team.
I'm a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Securities and Investments and a degree graduate in economics. After a career in the city, I decided to relocate with a young family to the northwest of England. And I've worked in private client stockbroking and high net worth investment management for 2 decades now.
Within the team as well, we have Gareth Groom, who's our financial director. Gareth was formerly FD of a fund management business with around 48 different funds, public, private, onshore, offshore, and about 1.5 billion under management. So great depth of knowledge about managing and controlling funds and FCA regulation and that area as well. So we bring together a team which is primarily focused on commercial reality, not on fund management, but supported by those fund management people.